Hey everyone, how you going? Welcome back, another day, another vlog. Gonna go straight into it. Day 3 highlights of the ICAST show. It's over today. Finished up a little bit disappointed actually. There was a few things I thought I would have liked to seen. For some reason, Tackle Warehouse didn't go and see a lot of things. It looked like they visited a lot less booths this year. There was only 107 clips on day 3, and day 2 there was 197. I'm sure there was more than that last year, and there was a lot of things that I didn't get to see and companies that I thought they would have gone to see. So yeah, so I'll cover the other ones that I wanted to see in the actual video and we'll go from there. But first up, Angler and Abu Garcia. If you haven't heard of Angler, probably not in Australia. In the States, it's a smart system where you've got a little button on your hat, so when you catch a fish, you press this button, records data like temperature, wind, barometric pressure, etc, etc, and then puts it onto the app so you can then sort of fine-tune your fishing, you know, when you're catching them, when they're biting, stuff like that, which is pretty smart. It's a pretty advanced way of attacking fishing. So the embedded rod, the tail end of the rod, the butt end, there's now a button there, so you can just quickly press that, so you don't need it on your hat or anything. It's built into the rod, so that's pretty interesting. Paves the way for the future, I guess. More technology, especially for those pros out there. They need any sort of advantage they can get, so for them to put out something like that, that's pretty cool. The Kuda suction cup tool holder, little ingenious little idea I thought of that one. Basically a little plate, tools, spots for lures to clip in for all your knives, braid cutters, bits like that, and it's got a suction cup with a large button and they reckon it'll pretty much pop onto anything. Kuda's a good brand, well known, so I reckon it'll probably work. So yeah, that's something definitely for the boaters, so you don't have to screw anything on. You can just whack it on whenever you want. Savage Gear pulse tail line through bait in a mullet. Beautiful looking little mullet from Savage Gear. It's got the line through in it, so you can do multiple hooks, either a hook above or a hook below. It's got the strength for that line through, with that wire cable going through, so that was a really good bait, I thought. And now Savage Gear also brought out a treble, which I haven't seen before, which has got a 150-pound braid loop on the top where your normal eyelet for your treble is. They're saying from what this is to allow twist of the treble, so the fish can't get any torque to pop off on a big lure. So something good. That actually might be pretty good for the barra on like a big bait, or some of your long hard baits like the 180mm Halcos and stuff like that. So they don't get any twist when they go up and flick their head. That torque on that treble, I reckon, is possible reasonable. They could be throwing the baits, so they have that, gives a little bit more flexibility, so the hook's going to stay hooked and not let the fish get away. So check them out, that's a pretty good idea. The Fish Arrow Flash Vibe blade, it's a Japanese style little blade that allows you to put a little plastic on it, and it's got it's got a bit of a shine to it, reflection, but the smart part, it had 3 different holes for where you tie on, so that allows you to adjust the vibration level depending on what you're doing. So you go to the front one, it's a tight vibration, middle standard, rear big vibration. So that was pretty cool. That was a good little bait, I thought. Something different. Garmin Troll Motor, best in show. Pedals, cable free. It's a brushless motor, UHD built-in. Indicator frame on the battery for battery level on the actual frame of the unit. It's got a floating remote and it's got gesture steering, so basically take the remote and where you point it is where the motor goes. So if you're driving a boat and someone's up the front fishing and near the pedal and not used to it, basically whoever driving the boat could probably do, which I don't think is too bad, but I've got to look a little bit more into the Garmin and the Lawrence, because the Lawrence had a hell of a lot going for it and the Garmin has some good features. But yeah, I think there's been a lot of thing on the internet about why the Garmin won best in show over the Lawrence, so we'll look a bit more into that, and I'll put some more information once I do that video and try and get some more info. But yeah, it's sort of, it looked better than what I thought it was at start, but also the Lawrence, you can rebuild it yourself. There's a lot more things in the Lawrence as well. The Garmin looked, I'd hate to say it, a little gimmicky, but I was stoked that they brought one out, because I'd sort of guessed in my preview film that they needed to bring something out, so you couldn't, because they just didn't have anything. So it was great they brought one out, and what they brought out was fantastic. But Lawrence is that's a tight unit, so very interesting. We'll talk more about that later anyway. The Ultra Series, Garmin also brought out the Ultra Series Ekimo, so that's the 10 and 12 inch sounders, or chart plotters, or graphs, I guess you guys call them in the States. Nice looking unit, touch display, similar features, got everything, the live scope. It hooks up straight to the Garmin trolley motor, so that's fantastic. Definitely needed it from Garmin. It's good to see they're getting better and better, so especially with that live scope in there, they're still, as far as I'm concerned, way in front with that live scope. Another bait here, Chase Baits Mud Bait Cherrapin. Great little bait, like a Cherrapin style. They called it a mug bug, but it actually looks like a Cherrapin to us, and for me anyway, from Darwin. So a little crawfish, or a big crawfish. They had two different sizes. Really good bait, looks really good, nice soft plastic, but it had a really good look to it, good features, and sat and run in the water really good. That'll be in the video, so all this will be in my new video on the ICAST, the wrap up. So, but yeah, just for a heads up, that's the one to look at them. Ned heads this year are huge. Everyone was talking about them, everyone had one. I didn't want to put one in because there was at least probably 5 or 10 covered just in the videos on Ned rigs. It's obviously a really good fishing style, so for that to get the coverage is really good. So, you know, it's definitely something worth looking at, and something I'll try out next year. Definitely try it out in the barrow, or whatever you're fishing for. It's definitely worth it, a technique try. The Motor Guide Troll Motor, Pro Troll Motor. You look at it, it's obviously Motor Guide and Lawrence used to work together. They used to supply the trolley motors, so they'd sync up. Apart from a little bit of cosmetics, where the Lawrence has probably got a couple more little specs up, and it doesn't have the wires, the cables going to the unit. The Motor Guide, the only difference from the Lawrence trolley motor is the cable still going to it. It's basically just, I guess, a medium range Lawrence trolley motor, where the Lawrence one is the high range. So if you can't afford that $3,000 US price for that Lawrence one, the Motor Guide Pro, probably everything similar to that, everything you want out of the Lawrence one. And probably cheaper, so I'd definitely look at that, because it does look good, and it's probably going to be cheaper for you. So don't, instead of getting the Ultrex, you're just going to get a normal Minn Kota, something like that. That's basically how it sits. Bio-bait, guys, if you haven't seen Bio-bait, they're a fantastic little bait. I used them this year. The best thing about them, they got a really good saltwater scent, strong scent that's built into the bait. But also, one of my favourite things is, and it sounds a little bit corny, but it's something to do with the environment. The baits, after 90 days in water, they just totally dissolve and totally environmentally friendly. I don't know too many of them that are like that, but nowadays, with the environment so in focus, looking after our kids' future, so they've got something to fish for, is something I want to do so my son can go fishing. So this company's great. I've talked to them. They're a great bunch of blokes. Definitely worth checking out, those guys. The Livingston Bullet 35-ounce Predator Sounds. What that is a little plug that you can put onto your lures. If you have heard of the Hydro Wave, and I'm sure everyone has, if you haven't, check it out. It's a unit that emits bait sounds, or different species bait sounds out of your boat, a little speaker. So what the Livingston have done is they've now created a little unit that you can actually fit to your bait. So while you're fishing, you attach it on, that runs along your line, and it'll pulse out that sound. So the fish comes straight to that sound, and that's where your bait is, that's where your hook is, and then bang. That's the theory. Whether it works, I think it's a great idea. Anything's worth a crack when you're trying to catch a fish, and they've got a lot of other things I want to check out on their website, but definitely have a check out on that one. That's definitely something to look forward to. And not much more, bear with us. And lithium pro batteries, I wanted to see something on that this year. For some reason, I don't know, I'm pretty sure they were there, but they don't need coverage. If you haven't talked about lithium batteries in your boats, probably more so for the guys in Australia. The guys in the States know all about them. In Australia, it's probably less well known. They are mega expensive in Australia. That's the only problem. That's probably why they're not used. But the Lithium Pro, if you are looking at them, go check them out. They're probably the top of the range ones. They're the best ones. You can hook up an app to your phone to check the battery level of the batteries. Super high power. I think they do a 36 volt set for about $3,000 American, but it's 60 amp hours, but just high quality, built to get over and over, cycled over and over and over again. So definitely worthwhile. Other than that, that's pretty much the ICAST run out. That's all my notes from there. That's the ICAST this year. As I said, it felt like a little bit like they just didn't show as much this year. I'm not sure what happened. It's really a struggle that you're trying to get all this information and you want to try and get it out to you guys. So I sort of felt that they'd sort of missed a little this year, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, there was some good things to see, some really good things, some highlights. The new trolley motors come out. They were big. That ICT technology from Live Target, some nice rods and reels from Daiwa. Shimano, I was disappointed with. I didn't even see too much more on Shimano. The two rod ranges they brought out. We're still running with the Conquestors since 2012, when the Conquest won Best Rod and Show. They haven't brought out another top of the range one. Like Daiwa brought out a whole range of JDM style ones at $400, $500 American a rod. Like Shimano seems to have backed off again. Not even from Loomis. Loomis brought out a range, but they were just the basic IMX ones, like nothing really exciting. So that's 5 years. That's 2000. That's 7 years since they brought out a high quality rod. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Conquest is an awesome rod and I love it. But I mean, come on, there's some other good rods out there, and we've talked about, and you'll see in the video, some really nice gear coming around. So the other guys are catching up. So Shimano needs to really step up. It was a bit disappointing from them. Yeah, that's about it. Another day, a couple more days to go, and I get to go home and see the family, which I'm pretty excited about, and get some sleep. Yeah, hope you're all well. Hope you enjoyed the ICAST and caught up on all the things you wanted to know about, and we'll see you in the ICAST video wrap up, and that'll be out hopefully in the next couple of days. I should be able to get that out hopefully Tuesday night, or if not Wednesday. Fingers crossed, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for popping by, and catch you later.